This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So in fact, essay reconciliation.
Okay.
Okay, let us learn. What is essay? Okay, what is AE?
Automation engineering.
No.
Oh.
Adverse effect?
Okay, adverse effect. Okay.
I'm sorry, are we doing the clinical class or are we doing the SAS class? I'm not sure.
No. Clinical only.
Okay,
Basic.
all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
So continuation of clinical trial process. Okay, after clinical trial process, reconciliation and CRO team. Okay, you can cross-check email once. Okay, next topic is reconciliation. So let's see reconciliation. First, we need to know what is adverse event and what is serious adverse event. What is adverse event? What is serious adverse event? Adverse events are side effects. Adverse events are side effects. Unwanted, unintended, untoward medical occurrence. This is adverse event. Then what is serious adverse event? Whenever adverse effect results in fatal, means death, life-threatening, hospitalization, fatal, life-threatening, hospitalization, permanent disability. Permanent disability. Okay, hospitalization, permanent disability, birth defects. If any of the adverse effect occur, that means if adverse effect results in any of these effects, any of these categories, in fact, it's called serious adverse event. Okay. Now, what happens when adverse effect occurs? When patient reporting adverse effect during clinical studies, what happens? Who is responsible for collection of this data? So investigator will collect the data. Investigator collect the data from the patient. Fill in CRF. You'll have a separate CRF to collect the adverse effects. Investigator will collect the CRF and send it to CDM. Why? For the cleaning process, for the validation process. So CDM will receive these CRFs and CDM will enter this data into their databases. They will maintain the databases, they will enter into their data. At the same time, simultaneously, parallelly, investigator has to fill the safety reporting forms. Safety reporting forms. Okay, so we'll have a separate forms, safety reporting forms. Send it to drug safety teams. Drug safety teams. Send it to drug safety teams. Drug safety teams will enter the same data into their database. Will enter the same data into database. Okay. Now you see the process. Whenever adverse effect occur, we'll fill the reporting form and we'll send it to drug safety. We'll fill the CRF, we'll send it to CDM. So information is same. The same information is entered into two different databases. The same information entered into two different databases. One is clinical database, like CDM database. Other one is safety database. When you are entering the same data into two different databases, both the databases must be reconciled. So reconciliation is a process of cross-checking the data in between two databases, two places otherwise. Clear it? So why do we need to do the reconciliation? What is reconciliation? Reconciliation is nothing but making sure the data that is collected on CDM, whether it is consistent with the data which is entered in safety databases, because the same data, both the data consistent or not. What is reconciliation? Checking of each and every safety variable between two databases. And why do we need to do that? To make sure the data collected during CDM process, the data collected in CDM, whether it is consistent with the safety data. You right? So this is what? Essay reconciliation. You need to know what is essay reconciliation. You also need to know, which is important, you also need to know why do we need to do the reconciliation. You can see all essays that occur during clinical trial are recorded into two databases: clinical safety. See, once the patient experiences any serious adverse events, investigator is supposed to fill the essay form, and investigator is supposed to fill adverse effect, like CRF, adverse effect CRF. So CRF will be sent to CDM, the safety reporting form sent to drug safety. So CDM role is to merge, reconciliate the safety database as well clinical database. So this is a definition of reconciliation, and the second paragraph, why reconciliation is explained. Reconciliation is performed to ensure the events recorded in safety database and those residing in clinical database are consistent. These are all the timelines, reporting timelines. Generally reported to sponsor by telephone within 24 hours. An SAE form must be completed by the investigator, faxed to the sponsor. To the sponsor, whenever serious adverse effect occur, we have to report within 24 hours, 1 day. So to IRB within 10 days, to FDA within 7 days, to sponsor within 24 hours. And what are all the fields to reconcile? No need to reconcile all the fields, each and every field of the adverse effect, but a few important fields like protocol number, study center, subject number, description of the event, date of onset, current status, whether treatment was discontinued, and reason why the event is classified as serious. Okay, so those are all the fields to reconcile. Now we have overview of the process, which is not that important because later, anyway, we are going to discuss in detail workflow of the CDM. Further slide. Okay. So this is just given, it is given the workflow, but it's not clear. It is very short overview. Elaborated one we'll see later. So this is what? Essay reconciliation. Okay. And what is CRO? Next topic, we have CRO. What is CRO?
Contract research organization.
Contract
Research.
organization. Right. What is the role of contract research organization?
It's a sponsor company, right? To the
Okay. So CRO, contract research organization, so outsourced by the sponsor. sponsor or also outsource all the projects to the CRO companies, CRO, contract research organizations. Okay, it's a company contracted by the sponsor to manage some parts of the clinical trial. Not only managing parts of clinical trial, even data related activities, cleaning, analysis, representations, for all these also we have CRO. Most of the outsourcing to India for conducting clinical studies, as because India population is more and where we have less, so where we have large patient pool. Okay, so this is the definition. Company contracted by the sponsor to manage specific parts of the clinical trial. It takes around 15 years. Incurs $800 million as a total drug development cost. Okay. It is estimated that 50% of the cost used in clinical studies only. That's the reason pharma companies using strategy of offloading their work to independent companies called CROs. Okay, so let us see the team. Clinical research team, we have 4 roles. Clinical research team, we mainly have 4 roles. Sponsor, sponsor, CRA, clinical research associate, CRC, clinical research coordinator, and next we have investigator. So this is a team members, team of clinical research. So what sponsor does? What exactly sponsor do? Sponsor, he like why the pharma companies are called sponsors?
Because they dictate the protocol.
Not only dictating protocol, they develop the protocol, they submit the applications, IND applications. He's going to fund, finance, organize the clinical studies, nothing but financial things. Okay, funding and all sources. So the role of sponsor is to fund the clinical trial, responsible for submitting applications, NDA, IND applications. Okay. Okay. And they report each and every adverse effect to regulatory authorities in timely manner. In timely manner, they have to submit adverse effects to them. They select all the sites where the clinical research will be done. They select the sites. They select the investigators. They select the monitors. Monitor means CRA. They select CRA, and they will make sure that the study is going on as per the regulations, as per GCP, as per protocol, as per regulatory requirements. Okay, they have to inform the adverse events because they have to know, they have to monitor how the study is going on, but they will not directly visit the site and check the details. They appoint monitor, is called CRA, clinical like contract research organizations. Okay, that's the reason they will appoint monitor. So not only protocol, they develop the protocol, they develop all the study related documents and provide it to investigator like IP, protocol, ICF. Those are all documents developed by sponsor and provided to the investigator. You can see the responsibilities. They develop all the documents, application submission, select qualified people, and select all the sites. They will study how the study is going on, means they will monitor the study. They'll ensure the study is going on as per the regulations. They'll inform the regulatory authority about adverse events, and they provide protocol, IB, IP to the investigator. Next, they will appoint CRA, Clinical Research Associate, also called monitor. He is the line of communication between sponsor and the investigator. Line of communication between sponsor, investigator. That means they will visit the site, check all the points, submit monitoring report to the sponsor. Okay, let us see what exactly they do. So they will communicate with the sponsor as well with the investigator and verify whether investigator has adequate qualification, enough resources. And they'll also verify for the product whether the product is stored under storage conditions, whether storage conditions are acceptable, whether IP is supplied to only eligible subjects, that too at the protocol specified dose. Okay, so they will see the storage conditions, whether IP is supplied to only eligible subjects. What do you mean by eligible subjects?
It's the subject that meets the criteria of the protocol.
Right. So inclusion, exclusion, based on the certain criteria that will be given in protocol. So we have inclusion criteria and we have exclusion criteria. Okay. Inclusion, exclusion. So According to this, whether the people are recruited and whether IP only given to eligible subjects who are eligible to receive it. That too at the protocol specified dose. Whether storage conditions are acceptable. So whether IP is applied to only eligible subjects. Whether subjects are properly provided with the instructions, whether like how to save, how to use, how to handle the product. All these should be documented. How much amount received, how much amount sent. Even disposition also should be done as per the regulations. Disposition means unused product will be disposed of. So the disposition also will be done according to the guidelines. Verify that whether investigator is following the protocol, whether investigator is following the protocol, and verifying that whether informed consent was obtained before each subject participation. So informed consent means, what is informed consent? Here we are stating we should obtain informed consent before we recruit the people. What is informed consent?
A verification of person's willingness.
Mhm. Right, whether he's able to participate, right.
Yeah.
Right. Ensure that investigator receives IP and all the documents, the child related supplies. Those are all. Okay. So ensuring that the investigator receives IB, all the related documents. And ensuring that investigator trial staff, whether they are adequately informed about the trial. And verifying whether the subject is enrolling the patients according to the eligibility criteria. Verifying that the source data and the source documents, other child related records, whether they are accurate, complete, kept up to date, whether they are properly maintained. Okay. So what are the source documents? You know the CRF? The data will be entered into CRF, but not directly into CRF. We initially record the data on the source documents. Source document is nothing but certified copy, original document, where we have original data. So when you are completing CRF, you should follow source data, source document. Verifying that the source data documents other child related records, whether they are complete, up to date, and properly maintained. And we'll check the CRF, like completeness, accuracy of the CRF. Monitor will visit the
I cannot hear you. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Now I can hear you. There is small
Okay.
interruption.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. So the data required by protocol, whether it is as it is collected on the CRF, and whether the data consistent with the source documents. Whether the data consistent with the source documents. Okay. And visit that subject failed to make, test which is not conducted, examination which is not performed. That should be clearly reported on the CRF. Okay. These are all null values like none, not done, no information, not available. So always select appropriate null values. Let's say gender male, female. If you select along with the male, female, if you collect not done also, this is not appropriate. The appropriate null value for this question is unknown. So after checking all these points, they will prepare monitoring report and send it to sponsor. After each and every trial visit, they prepare the report, send it to sponsor. This report should have date, the site, and the name of the monitor, name of the investigator, other individuals contacted. So review and follow-up will be done. Later, review and follow-up will be done on monitoring report. Okay. So let's say investigator, he's a physician under whose personal supervision drug will be given to the subjects. Okay, principal investigator is responsible for overall conduct of clinical study. So they plan for the recruitments, evaluate, treat the subjects, supervise the staff, review the data, review clinical trial, lab data, interpret the procedures, and they have the control of the investigational product. The drug to be administered under personal supervision of investigator should not supply to other persons except subjects. So we have a record keeping, record retention, like disposition of the drug, how much amount sent, how much amount given to subject, and how much amount sent, how much amount used by the subject, amount written, a remaining product will be written. Provide records for the disposition if the product is disposed of. So case histories, CRFs. So they maintain the CRFs. They will also maintain other reports like progress reports, safety reports, final reports, financial disclosures, okay, assurance of IRB, handling of IP. Next is CRC, Clinical Research Coordinator. He's a site administrator for the clinical trial to look after day-to-day operations of the research program. Let's say investigator will be busy. He may not be available all the time at the particular site. They will appoint CRC, Clinical Research Coordinator. He is a site administrator, look after day-to-day operations of the research program. So he's Pearson Study Coordinator, look after day-to-day operations of the research program. Those are all the responsibilities of them. Learn protocol. CRC has to learn protocol and coordinate how the study will be conducted at the site. Ensure adherence to protocol. Ensure adherence to protocol. So study, they are responsible for initiating study and conduct of study, completion of the study. Coordinate with the principal investigator, coordinate with other medical staff. And complete all the regulatory IRB submissions. IRB is the Independent or Institutional Review Board. Their main role is to visit the study, visit the site, and where they will make sure the study is going on as per the regulations. Okay. And
What is PI again?
Principal investigator.
Okay, sorry.
Other medical staff. They have to coordinate with the principal investigator and they have to coordinate with the other medical staff. And they ensure initial review by the IRB, continued review by IRB, approvals. They develop the study documents, visit schedules, pre-screening questionnaires, letters, regulatory files, and define the recruitment plan, implement the plan. They'll prepare the questionnaires related to visits, general questionnaires while screening, and they implement the plan. They call the subjects, asking them to visit site and perform the screening and recruitment plan, document all the written phone correspondence with the sponsors, with the labs, IRB, and other regulatory organizations. Okay, so document all the phone correspondence, written correspondence. Maintain organized, accurate, complete. Maintain organized, accurate, complete records, including source documents. NCRs. Okay. So they provide the customer desk for the subjects, billing, compliance. They maintain all the study related documents. Okay. And they will take care of storage of the product, accountability of the product. These are our responsibilities. So sponsor, CRA, monitor, and CRC. Okay, so this is a team of clinical trial. So sponsor may not visit all the way, site and check how the study is going on. And they have to know how the study is conducting, whether it is is as per the regulations. To check that, they will not directly go and visit the site and check. They will appoint CRA.
So does the sponsor outsource everything to a CRO company, and the CROs are the ones that will hire the CRAs and do all the monitoring of these trials? Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. Okay. So investigator will be responsible for conduct of study at the particular site, participating site. He may be responsible for more than one site also. Okay. In one site, you may have principal investigator, co-investigators also. So CRC, coordinator. So investigator may not be available all the time at the site. They will appoint CRC, clinical research coordinators, monitor, like study coordinators, nothing but. Okay, let us see. CRF, case report form. Nihal and Jeet.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
explaining CRF. Okay, is that fine?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So you need to know the contents of the CRF. So why do you need to know the contents of the CRF? Because as a CTM, you are going to design the CRF. You need to know the contents of the CRF. Why? You're going to design the CRF. Where? In the database. In the data. So you need to know each and every content of the CRF. Means you need to know what to collect on the demography. You need to know what to collect on the physical examination. You need to know what to collect on vitals. Like that, we have different contents of the CRF. But before we go to contents, let us understand what is CRF, types of the CRF, responses for the CRF. What is CRF? You know, CRF is a data collection tool, data collection methods, data collection forms, which is used to collect the clinical trial related data. They collect the data from all the participating sites, means they collect the data from the subjects. Which data? Clinical trial data. So CRF is a document used to collect the data from the subjects, patients. Okay. So it is available in paper, electronic. Available in paper and electronic. Paper CRF, electronic CRF, eCRF. So let's see. You start designing the CRF. How can we know what to collect on the CRF? Let's say you are just creating one CRF. How can we know what to collect in the CRF? So which document will provide you the input? From where do we get which data to be collected?
From the
What
protocol, the source documents?
protocol? Protocol. The data on the CRF which to collect, it will be given by the protocol. Protocol is a source for your questions on the CRF. You will get mainly from the you'll get the information, you'll get the guidance from the protocol, what to collect and all. So in fact, the CRF should be consistent with the protocol. That means protocol is stating that you have to collect pain-related questions. You have pain-related questions in ODI. ODI is one of the form, disability index. All the pain-related questions that will be in the ODI. So protocol stating that you have to include ODI in the CRF. That means whatever the questions that you have in ODI, we have to include it in the CRF. So protocol will state which data to be collected on which form. I'll just show you protocol. This is a protocol. You can just see here during which interval which data to be collected. It is given in protocol. You can baseline what data to be collected. You see, during the screening visit, we should collect all this data. It's clearly given in the protocol. During the treatment visit, what to collect. During follow-up visit, what to collect. Like this, each and every visit, what exactly the data to be collected, it is given in protocol. So, CRF, what is a CRF? What is the role of the CRF? Collection of data. It is available in paper, electronic. It should be consistent with the protocol. What to collect on the CRF? Mainly you'll get the input from the protocol. Okay. Let us see the contents of the protocol. But before we go further, let us understand open, closed. So what are open, what are closed? So open and closed responses. Open and closed responses. So responses are of two types. Open, closed. So what are open? Let's say when you don't have possible values for the particular question. When you don't have possible values for the particular question, and when you cannot guess the value for the question. So what we do, we just leave a space. We just leave a space to enter the response. This is open. Open means open to the data entry person, whoever collecting the data on the CRF. It will be open for them so that they can write any text in the given blank. Okay. So what are closed? When you have possible answers for the particular question. When you have possible answers for the particular question. Let's say male, female. Male, female. So gender that you have question and you have possible values male, female, unknown. That is closed. So let's say race is closed. Marital status is closed. Okay. So like this, we have open and closed. Each and every CRF will have the header part. Each and every CRF will have header. Generally, header will collect unique information like use subject ID, means subject number, study ID, site ID, and visit number, visit name, date on which data is collected, date on which the data is collected. You can see here. I'll just show you one CRF. So we have all the contents in the CRF. You can see this is header part. The header part is protocol number, site name, site code, ID number, subject ID number, date of assessment, visit date, okay, visit number, and during which phase of the study the data is collected. This data is collected during screening. So like this, each and every CRF will have header part. Each and every CRF will have header. So other contents of the CRF like this. Inclusion, exclusion, inclusion, exclusion. Okay. So what is inclusion? What is exclusion? This is eligibility criteria. This is eligibility criteria. So what does it mean? We need to know what type of people to be in the study and what type of people to be excluded from the study. This will determine the criteria based on which patients will be recruited. This criteria will be the study specific. You have inclusion questions, yes or no. And we have exclusion questions, yes or no. All the inclusion must be selected yes. All the exclusion must be selected no. So if any of the inclusion, no. Any of the exclusion, yes. Will not recruit that particular patient. So like this, we'll have certain criteria to recruit the subjects. You can see here, we have criteria in this example. So this example that we are working with is we are treating the subjects who are suffering from the withdrawal syndromes. Withdrawal syndromes. That means reporting symptoms of opioid withdrawal. Opioid is a drug substance after withdrawal where the patient is showing any side effects, symptoms. So we are mainly treating drug abuse, drug dependence people reporting symptoms of opioid withdrawal, currently physically dependent on opioids and in need of medical assistance for the opioid withdrawal. So like this, we'll have certain criteria. Here we have inclusion criteria given 5. Systolic BP greater than 100, pill state greater than 56, good health, see, age, and pregnancy, like use of one of the acceptable method of birth control. So like this, it is study specific because we are using this drug here to treat the patients who are suffering from who are facing the withdrawal symptoms. withdrawal symptoms after opioid withdrawal. But it depends upon the study. This inclusion exclusion purely depends upon the study. Okay, so this is inclusion exclusion criteria. So most of the CRFs will collect inclusion exclusion. So this will be given in protocol clearly. See the protocol? Inclusion exclusion will be given in the protocol. Withdrawals. You can see here. Selection criteria, inclusion criteria is given, exclusion criteria is given. This study is to treat the back pain. That's the reason you can see patients, whoever suffering from low back pain, leg pain, will recruit here. Age criteria given, low back pain, leg pain for greater than 6 months. Exclusion, we have a lot of points. So in fact, all inclusion should be selected yes, all exclusions should be selected no. According to that, we'll recruit the subjects. Can you tell me what to collect on the demographic CRF? I have inclusion exclusion CRF. We'll collect the inclusion questions, exclusion questions. Can you tell me what to collect on demographic CRF?
It's the gender, age, maybe sex, education, or race, or marital status, maybe.
The general demographics of the patient, like race, ethnicity, date of birth, gender. Okay, so marital status, employment status. Okay, so this is demographic. That means different studies will collect different questions. The common questions will be age, gender, race. You can see this is demographic form. Here we are collecting the questions: gender, closed-ended, male, female; date of birth, open-ended; ethnicity, closed-ended, yes or no; education completed; employment pattern; marital status. This is demography. And what is medical history? Nihal, what to collect on medical history?
If the patient has any any what's it called any kind of disease like diabetes or high blood pressure or anything like that.
Right.
And if they so my question, okay, I have a question for this. If they're getting the medical history, so are they gonna need like what kind of medications are they taking for this?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. When they are taking medical history, let's say BP, they are reporting BP, they are reporting allergy. So it's not only current, it's a past medical history also. Let's say bone fracture, sometime before.
Sorry to
Sometime
cut you off. Sorry to cut you
happened,
off. But I want to know in the medical history how long they go back, like how many years they go back on the medical history.
Generally 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 6 months to 1 year. Okay. Generally, years, dates will not be possible here. Let's say 10 years back, he has undergone surgery. Surgeries, if it is 10 years back, 5 years back, also we will collect under medical history. Okay. But they may not be able to recollect the dates and all. Here they entered partial dates, means only year. Okay, like that.
Okay, thank you.
So you asked, is there any medications for the medical history? Do we need to collect those also, right? For the medical history, they will take the medications. They will have history of the medications, and they will have the records of the medications. That will be collected in concomitant medications. So what are concomitant medications? Medication
Medications that they're currently taking.
along with the study drug. Along with study drug. Along with the drug which is administered. Means along with the drug which is experimenting. If the patient is on any other medication, it is called concomitant medication. We'll definitely have list of all the medications that the patient is taking for the particular medical history. Clear, right? So you can see medical history will be listed like this here. See. Image term, occurrence, means all the medical conditions are listed, whether they have past history about this at the moment, like at the time of recruitment also, whether still facing this issue. See, past and the current, active. Okay, so this is medical history. Now tell me what to collect on vitals. What kind of data that we collect on vital signs?
It's height, weight, blood pressure, temperature,
Hmm.
physical attributes.
Right, BP, temperature, all these, BMI, O2 saturation, pulse rate, respiration rate, and all, right? So next we have physical examination. So what to collect on physical examination? Okay, so Nihal, Ajit, what to collect on physical examination?
So what to collect on a physical examination?
Yeah. So on physical examination, CRF, you'll have a content called physical examination. What will you collect on the physical examination? What kind of data? You know what to collect on medical history, right? What to collect on physical examination?
Is it like their physical records and everything?
I
No
think it's just physical appearances, nails, hair, what's their status of their body system, things like that.
nails, hair, skin. Let's say skin rash. Okay, left arm, right arm, skin, face, hands, legs. Okay, so whichever. And chest appearance, kidney. Like it's not only physical appearance, physical examinations also. Okay, you can see here. We need to know whether it is significant or insignificant, like this, you can see. See, dermatological. This is medical. Physical examination, you can see here. Skin, hair, nails, head, neck, ear, nose, throat, heart, chest, lungs, abdominal. They have circled here. That means they have given here circled items represent minimum physical examination. Okay, so not significant, not clinically significant, significant, unknown. We collect all the responses. So it is nothing but the status of your body system. Body system, let's say nervous system, okay, skin, body system, ENT, body system, gastro, status of the body system. And we have the CRF, concomitant medications. You know concomitant medications along with the study drug. If the patient is on any other medications, it is concomitant. Then what about medication details? We even have the CRF for the study medication details. Study medication means
The research drug.
right. The study drug details, research drug details, the drug which is under testing, experimentation. Okay, so research drug details. Let us see the CRF. So about study drug, mainly we collect drug start date, drug stop date. This is the start date, collection date, formulation, unit, route of administration, dose, how much amount ingested on the day, how much amount sent home. On the next day, how much amount written if no study medication ingested. Like this particular study is done for 14 days. See, day one, same data will be collected for 14 days. But 14th day, no drug was given. See, no medication is to be given on 14th day. Clear it? So this is study medication details. So next we have concomitant medication. You know, concomitant medications usually we take for medical history, also adverse events. When they have the past history, they'll be using other medications. When they have adverse effect also, they'll be using other medications. So here are the concomitant medication details, same. Medication name, medication start date, medication route of administration, medication dose and all will have here. So some medications will be listed. That means all the permittable medications. Concomitant medications, we have restrictions. So so-and-so medications can be included, means patient can take. So-and-so medication, patient should not take. Okay, we'll have some adverse, like some medications are listed like this. Here we have listed medications. So here we have concomitant medication form where you have listed ancillary medications. Like this. For anxiety, restlessness, patient can take any of these four. If the patient is taking so-and-so medication, they will circle the day there. On which day of the treatment the patient is taking this medication. Okay, you can see for bone pain, which medication to take, nausea, which medication to take, diarrhea. In case if the patient is not taking above medication, if the patient is taking other medications like beta blocker medication. Beta blocker is a category, medication name directly not given. Okay, so medication name within the bracket generic name. Purpose of the medication, route of administration, daily dose in grams, last date of the use, on which day of the study patient is taking this medication. Okay, so calcium channel blockers, digitales, the tricyclines, all these you can see, methadone, lam. In case other than these categories also, if the patient is taking any other medication, the other medications also can be listed. You can see. So this is concomitant medication. So other medication drug details will be collected in the concomitant medication form. Next, you have adverse events. You have serious adverse events. What are the adverse events? You know, unwanted, unintended, untoward medical occurrence. Unwanted, unintended, untoward medical occurrence. Okay, so what kind of data we collect about adverse events? You can see the date. So adverse event name we write here. Adverse effect, date, start date we write here. C is to collect type of report. Means whether adverse effect is anticipated and anticipated. What does it mean? Anticipated means which is already expected. Expected to occur. The adverse effect expected to occur. That means we know that the adverse effect is going to occur. Unanticipated means unknown, unexpected. Like this, we collect type of report. So study drug related. That means whenever adverse effect occur, we need to know whether that adverse effect is due to the drug or due to interaction or due to any other interactions or reasons. So relatedness. Severity, mild to moderate severe. We will collect any action taken with the study drug. After adverse effect, did they stop the drug? Did they increase the dose, decrease the dose, delay the dose? What kind of action taken in response to adverse effect? Other action taken also will be collected. means any medication given. Medication, pharmacology, and non-pharmacology. Okay. Outcome of the adverse effect. Result, not yet resolved, but improving. Okay, deceased, unknown. And we even have, that means outcome of the adverse effect. At the end, what happens? Whether adverse effect is serious. If serious, will complete serious adverse event form. If not complete, like if the seriousness no selected, no need to complete the adverse effects. No need to complete the serious adverse effect form. So end of the adverse effect, you can see, end date. So like this, we collect all the adverse effects. If the adverse effect is serious, we even collect the serious adverse event. When you're collecting serious adverse events, mainly we'll have patient details, event details, investigator details, who is reporting, the problem about whom, the problem about what, who is reporting, and product, event, reporter, subject. Demographic information, gender, date of birth, race, ethnicity, height, weight. So this is general details of the patient. When you're collecting serious adverse event, we even include the general details of the patient, product details, event details. These are all general details of the patient. Serious adverse event, onset date, severity grade, was it related to the product, relatedness. Same, almost as good as adverse effect details only. See, action taken, outcome, relevant lab test, pre-existing conditions, resolution date, product details you can see. Product details, start date, stop date of the product, frequency, quantity, route of administrations and all. Okay. Investigator details, who is reporting, investigator signatures, physician signatures. Okay, so this is serious adverse event. We'll have a separate CRF for serious adverse event. Sometimes serious adverse events also will be collected part of adverse effects. Next we have lab examination. So what is lab examination? What to collect here? Blood reports, ECG, X-ray, scan, urine examination. In this CRF, they are collecting urine samples. They are collecting certain parameters related to urine. They are collecting this, they are examining this during the screening process, before we give them the drug, during the treatment process, and during follow-up. You can see these are all the parameters. Positive, negative, methadone, morphine. So we'll do this, you can see. So day 0 means day 1 means study day. Day 0 means before the study, before the treatment. Before we start the treatment, it is day 0. See, day 0, during the screening process, we're collecting these urine examination. During the treatment also, we're collecting. See, all these. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Whichever the day that you're collecting, you have to mention here, because during the treatment, we collect urine examination 4 times. The results. Follow-up, we have 3. Follow-up 1, 2, 3. In all the places, they are collecting only these questions. Date urine collected, date urine shipped. This is lab examination CRF. So like this, we'll have different CRFs. 11th one, you have questionnaires. Different questionnaires that you collect. It depends upon the protocol, of course. Protocol, if the protocol states this question to be collected, so we'll collect that question. You can see the questionnaires. As per this study, we have different questions if you see. See, have you found that you needed to use a lot more drug? Okay, second question you see, have you ever had withdrawal symptoms? It depends upon the study. All the questions are collected, you see. See, is a participant currently opioid dependent? Currently dependent on any other substance? Is a participant currently in need of medical assistance? General health status, you see. In general, how do you say your health is excellent? All these. Compared to 1 year ago, how would you rate your health in general? Vigorous activities, moderate activities, climbing several flights of stairs. These are all the questions. So in this, we have a lot of questions, okay, but it depends upon the study. So we'll have different set of questionnaires. We have protocol deviation. Protocol, you know, plan to study, to conduct the study. Okay. In case if you have any deviations from the protocol, who will do these deviations? Deviations may be from the subject, maybe from the study staff. Any deviation from protocol, nothing but non-compliance with the protocol. If the protocol is not followed, it is protocol deviation. We'll have a separate CRF to collect the protocol deviations. Okay, any deviation that you can collect here. I don't have example here, but I have example in the another CRF. This is another CRF. You can see the protocol deviation. So summary of the protocol compliance. Was protocol followed without any deviations? Okay, just look at this one, deviations. Let's say example, subject should not take aspirin drug. Aspirin is a prohibited medication. But if the patient is taking that medication, that is deviation. If the subject should not take so and so concomitant medication, but if the subject is taking that. You can see this form, protocol compliance form.
I can't hear. I'm not sure if you're still here.
I was just away from the system. I just asked you to go through this, Shweta.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. The summary of protocol compliance. If protocol not followed, why not followed? You have to mention. Okay, so that is protocol deviation. Protocol deviation should be submitted to authorities. 13. Study completion. The last one is study completion. When study completion discharge form. So is the study completed as per the protocol? Or if the patient is, that means last day of the study. In fact, the discharge form. Okay, you can see here. Here we have study completion form in this example. Reason for the discontinuation. Because of adverse event they discontinue. Because of the withdrawal, like he withdraw and lost to follow. So whichever the reason. You can see here, another CRF also we have the same discharge form. Discharge. It's not searching. The same, but date is collected here. Okay. So reason for the discharge, date of last contact means on which day the patient is uh, patient visit last date. Which day and which date. Collecting both of them here. Discharge. Both the fields are there here, day and date. See, discharge report. Reason for the discharge. See the reasons. Okay. Reason for the discharge. Participant completed active study. Participant withdraw from the study. Administratively withdrawn, hospitalized. All the reason: patient is pregnant, death, no longer attend the clinic. Okay. Date of final visit to the clinic and day corresponding to the date of final visit. On which day of the study final visit happened and date of the final visit. So this is last day of the study. So these are all the contents that you need to know. So which CRF, what kind of data to be collected, and the important fields out of which. Okay, what are all the fields? What is inclusion, exclusion? We'll have questions listed. Yes, no, answers will be given. Demographic, you know. Medical history, you know. Vitals, you know the questions. General questions. So physical examination also, you know. Study medication, research drug details, start date, end date, unit, dose used. Concomitant, along with the study drug, if the patient is taking any medication, they will maintain the concomitant medications. Details are same, like name of the drug, route of administration, start date, indication, why the patient is using this drug, adverse event, severity, seriousness, relatedness, and whether it is anticipated, unanticipated, all the assessments and the adverse event description. Serious adverse event, patient, reporter, event, product. All these details will be there. Lab examination, urine, blood collection, scan, ECG. So questionnaires, different type of questionnaires. It depends upon purely study. Protocol deviations. We'll have a separate form to collect the non-compliance with the protocol. If anyone not following the protocol, maybe subject, maybe study staff. Okay, so these are all contents. Clear? Shweta? Next class, I'll communicate, Shweta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Bye. Nandini?
Yeah, thank you.
Tomorrow, same time. Welcome.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
bye.
sure. Thank you. Bye.